Hello and welcome to Snooker Extra, extended highlights of the 2018 Betfred World Snooker Championship from the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield. It is day 6 and the second round got underway earlier today with Joe Perry, the man who knocked Mark Selby out on the opening day, taking on Northern Ireland's Mark Allen, this year's Masters champion. Commentary from Steve Davis and Dennis Taylor.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first frame, Joe Perry to break.
Welcome to the second round, and Joe Perry won the toss and he will get it underway. Tough to pick a winner of this one. The bookies make Mark Allen a slight favourite. But Joe Perry, having knocked out the defending champion Mark Selby, is in fine form. But two terrific players on show here on this table this afternoon. Should be a cracker, Steve.
Yes, certainly could be a hard-fought match, and by that I don't mean a grueling war of attrition. More likely a slugfest. Really tough to pick a winner. Could make a case for both these players.
Just wondering if there's a possible 3-ball plant with a safety shot in mind. He did look at it, but maybe it's not on. Just in the middle of the bunch there. But that's a nice pot he's picked out. And if he's got an angle on the green, he can automatically take the cue ball up to the reds. That's a nice way to start your opening frame. Yeah. Played that as a shot to nothing, and catching the jaw of the middle pocket. Finished up helping things there. So if he can get nicely on the blue off this red, and there's 3 or 4 other loose reds available, so it could turn into an early chance.
Yeah, this is a tough shot so early on. Never in doubt.
5.
Made that look a lot easier than it was. He does seem to be in stroke, Joe Perry, doesn't he? He's very relaxed and calm in his first round match. Obviously that first session of at the Crucible can be a nerve jangler. He looked very much in control.
Well, look at that in the first round. Pot success rate, both players on 92%. And not a lot of difference in the long pot success department. Oh, just put it on that left jaw, but look where the cue ball's finished up. That was because he didn't pot the blue.
Had to risk a red going over the right corner, and Joe's got a path through to it, although not guaranteed to be on a colour, one of the top colours anyway. Pink goes into the left corner, as does the blue, but there's many reds in the way. Not too many areas that are safe from a cover-up. Probably getting out into open plays best, onto the pink. Depends how he feels.
One.
That's turned out quite nice. That little flick has left him on the pink.
Yeah, we'll assume he played that. I mean, if he'd have got a full ball kiss on that already, he would have been on the blue, which would have opened things up, but lots of opportunities now. Didn't hit that one great. The arm went a bit funny there, but got the pot. Perhaps didn't get the correct cannon on the red. Bit of arm movement we don't usually see there. Early tension. So that's messed the
7.
position up a little bit, but fortunately the pink doesn't go in its spot, so.
Eight.
It's got a lovely relaxed cue action. Joe Perry pulls the cue back for the last delivery with lots of intent and control. A nice pause and then a solid hit through the ball. If you're a club player and you're looking to improve your game, slow your final backswing down. Don't rush that final backswing.
13.
Take a leaf out of Joe Perry's book.
Just the wrong side of the blue. This means he's going to have a medium range pot just run through. And these are, well, they're little testers. They're also shots if you play them nicely. Confidence boosters. If he's straight, it'll be a stun run through, which is one of my favorite shots. Just love that shot, you know, where you hit the ball with plenty of pace and the white doesn't move much. Takes a lot of years of practice to perfect that shot. Just hitting it just below center, the cue ball, and looks so easy but very difficult to accomplish.
Looks like he's got a problem here.
What sort of angle has he got? Any sort of angle. He can get out onto the black, and he has, as you can see. And
27.
we had new cushions put on the other day, and now we've got a new bed on the table. This is a brand new cloth that's on, so it'll be playing slightly different. In fact, I noticed a couple of days ago when the black was being respotted, it was falling into a little bit of a hole, little indentation with the black. You know, you keep respotting it there. There's no spots on these tables like you would have on a club table. The spots there to protect it also.
35.
Just the start that Joe Perry was after already. 40 points in front.
Yeah, I think you get an indentation, even though the referee obviously doesn't bang the ball down on the spot. You get the indentation
42.
because the black would be skidding off the spot every time it's hit. So it wipes a bit of cloth away. This is very impressive from Joe Perry. He looks to have picked up where he left off in the last round.
43.
That's always nice to do.
And if he gets the cannon right on the reds here, it's Will be a frame winner, you'd have to say. Yeah, I think he's okay. He can get through to the potting angle. And every chance he can start with a possible century break. But oh, is he not on that red? There's the split, and I think he is covered the red that I thought he was on.
He just caught that red a fraction too thin to guarantee a good split, but still a bit unlucky.
Yeah, end of break.
In playing that, you could have also expected a red to have presented itself into the right middle. So a lifeline for Mark Allen. All the colours out in the open, and currently all the reds out in the open, so it's a dangerous setup for Joe Perry.
Well, what was that, Joe?
Foul. Joe Perry 50.
He was concentrating so much on where he wanted to put the cue ball. He planted the pink in the pocket. That was very careless. I think he was trying to knock the pink safe and just misjudged it. And as Steve mentioned, we show you it again. It seemed a natural there.
Yeah, it looked like he should have had a look at it. The 6 points doesn't necessarily make too much difference. He hasn't got the cue ball safe though. Tough speculative one from Mark Allen that perhaps later in the match he'd have got closer to, but as yet he hasn't got his arm going out there.
One.
Well, perfectly played, so, and an angle on the blue, so should really now clinch this opening frame.
Six. Seven.
He's a lovely player to watch, Joe Perry. I just like his mannerisms and the way he moves around the table. Stance so compact, you know, it's just, you can't see any faults in his game and cue action.
30.
Yeah.
40.
Surprisingly for his talent, he's only won one major, one larger ranking event. He'd dearly love to win one of the majors, one of the big BBC ones. He's got a great game.
90.
You'd think it's unlikely that later in his years this would happen, but perhaps he's been given hope
20.
by the likes of John Higgins, Mark Williams, and of course Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Six. 27.
Doesn't really matter
27 and the
about
frame.
the black. I thought Mark might have come to the table to get a little bit of potting practice, decided not. So Joe Perry, with the aid of that 50 break, takes the opening frame and leads 1-0. Eight frames to be played in this opening session. We're now down to where most players feel the World Championship really starts, when you've got best of 25 and 3 sessions to go at. I think think if the top players are vulnerable, Steve, it's usually in the opening round, isn't it?
Yeah. I think there's an element of panic that's always surrounding the first round of the World Championship, especially for some of the top seeds. Once they get that out of the way, they can play their own game, they feel. That was a great effort. Clever shot to nothing. Pots it, he's on the blue. Misses it, only that red he can leave. Huge slice of luck there from Joe Perry's perspective. It wasn't unlucky to catch the bump of the middle pocket. That bump's always there. You don't want to go anywhere near it.
Yeah, of course.
Black looks currently tied up, but nothing to say that a few safety shots later it won't have opened out. Yeah, the World Championship, Dennis, is the only tournament where you have, certainly from the second round onwards, you have finishes to 2 sessions where you have to then sit on the situation, whether it's a lead or behind, and have to regroup mentally. It's an unusual situation, as most of the season is not like that. Big misjudgment there from Joe Perry. I'm not sure if he was trying to play it onto the one on the black cushion, but he's given Mark Allen enough of a chance here with choices of reds.
Well, he hasn't settled yet, Mark. Didn't miss many of those against Liam Highfield. He won that match 10-5, but it was a lot closer than the scoreline suggested. Liam played very well against Mark. Oh, he's on the pink. He played to get on the blue there with a little trace aside, and just, as you can see here, he just caught the other red slightly and then the pink and put it on. Nice run of the ball there. Is the pink going to be tied up when it goes back on its spot?
Seven.
Yeah, it might be tied up, and the black's awkward now on the cushion.
Well, it's
Joel
catching.
Perry. 7.
I do think that Mark Allen should have tried to pot the last red and colours in the first frame. I bet he wouldn't have missed that red that he's just missed then. Still, Joe Perry fails to capitalise.
One. Six. Seven.
Well, he's developed the black, but it's a difficult one along the cushion. As I say, it's a new cloth, so this should slip in off the jaw, you would think, but you still got to be precise. Yeah, he's played that well. That should slip in. Yeah, well done.
See, as a black then died out of pace, it hugged
40.
a little bit towards the end. That's a natural thing to do with the nap of the cloth pointing always towards the top end of the table. Pushes the ball slightly up the table, ever so slightly.
50.
Nice chance to disturb some reds now, and with that red on the left of the table, guaranteed position. Mark Allen Dennis will be delighted to have got back to
22.
the table so quickly after that glaring miss earlier.
Yes, Joe Perry let him off the
23.
hook, didn't he? And this is where you want to be, in and around the black spot area. Still a couple more reds available after this one. The one at the back of the bunch is sitting in a nice position, so he doesn't have to think about playing a cannon just yet.
$31.
He's left himself a funny little angle here, but he's got plenty of cue power, as Mark. Just watch this. Powers it in and left himself on this red, which in turn will open the other reds up, but it's important that he gets the next shot right. And he played it well, played it very well.
39. $46. $47.
Only just got enough follow through on that one for it to be comfortable.
I think we're going to see a lot of breaks, 50 and over.
54.
Joe started off with a 50 break in the opening frame, and with the way these two players play the game, I can see there being a barrage of breaks over 50. Players winning frames with one visit.
$55.
He's okay, even if he's straight on the blue. He can just bring it back to where the white is now and leave this straight red for the left corner. But he might have a slight angle. Yeah, he has, which is better. Well, better as long as you don't hit it too hard.
Must be a plant on.
Well, it has to be, otherwise he wouldn't have left
60.
the white there. Yeah, there you see it. And now you don't.
61.
That was a little bit loose. Not getting the correct side of the blue, but probably no damage done. Big margin of error to come up the table, although he only just missed the yellow.
66.
Yeah, Dennis, I think probably more century breaks made, more 50 breaks made these days than ever before. But even though this match is best of 25 frames, still important for Joe Perry to have perhaps kept Mark Allen off the table. All of a sudden, Mark Allen's got the freedom of cueing now that he didn't have at the start of this frame.
73. $79. 8. 87. 88.
He's got to move that difficult red if he's going to get the century break. He's got an angle on the pink to do it. Oh, he's unlucky. He's very unlucky. That looked like it was going to be a certain century, but he's going to try a trick shot here.
Mark Allen.
Bit disappointing not to get the century, but he did what he had to do. That was a marvellous break of 94. And Mark Allen is all square with Joe Perry. It's one each.
Joe Perry, qualifier this year. This is his 5th game in the World Championship. And actually, Dennis, one of the bloggers, online bloggers, made the point that, funnily enough, 3 or 4 years ago, I think it may have been, perhaps when a lot of the qualifiers got beat, was saying that the qualifying section was burning the players out and they were mentally drained by the time they came here. And all of a sudden, you know, now it's sort of turned around to it, you being sharp. You could make the case both ways, I suppose.
Well, I think the players are quite fit these days, and listen, they practice 7 and 8 hours a day. Okay, it's slightly different, but you don't mind getting that match practice, do you?
Fascinating to hear what I think is a quote from Neil Robertson saying that he'd prefer to be, perhaps he didn't say it like that, prefer to be a qualifier. Perhaps it just came out like that.
I think I'd rather be here than having to win 3 matches to get here. Nowhere back down the table that time for Joe Perry, so just sent the red up the other end.
Getting this dangerous red out of the way and playing safe at the same time. Bit short of pace. Possibly got a speculative shot into the left corner as a shot to nothing, or right corner with an element of safety. Hit it pretty well, but not well enough.
Yeah, it was a bit of a free shot for Joe there. The only red he could leave was the one he was attempting. But does this cut in? Having said that, it certainly does. Oh, thought he'd got that. In fact, he was so close to it, it stayed right over the pocket.
always feel a bit aggrieved when that happens. You've made a good effort and keep red sticks there. And we didn't hit that
1.
absolutely as intended. And hence the cue ball a bit too close to the cushion for comfort. This is a tough shot.
Well, he's a little bit unlucky to hit that red like that. Although, having said that, he might have a long straight red to go at.
8.
But good cueing from almost tight on the cushion to pot the black at that pace. Just away from the cushion a little bit, but still fairly awkward. But this could pay dividends. Is it there? It is.
No.
It's not an ideal pack to go into.
60.
Looks to have just enough angle that he can work the cue ball into the two reds to the side. Whether he can get enough power to get that cue ball out. He's not the best power player in the game.
24.
Yeah, you see a lot of the players, particularly Judd Trump, Ronnie O'Sullivan, when they play that shot, the white stops and then spins again.
He was just a little bit thick on the black to be able to do damage with the pack. Great recovery though.
25.
He deserves that round of applause because into the middle pockets at that pace was very good. And both players look to be cueing really well.
32.
Very little missed so far.
Still not an easy bunch of reds for Joe Perry. He may be forced to go up the table for the blue. Funnily enough, an ideal ball to go into the pack would be off the green, but it's not really probably anywhere near his mind. He can leave himself an angle on the black. That's what he's looking at now. Always nice to go into the pack off the black directly rather than off the top cushion. You've really got to put some effort in to get the cue ball into the reds. So decision to be made for Joe. Which ball does he use to try and open the reds?
$33.
And this is one of those shots where you've got to keep your eye on the black ball and make sure you get the pot, let the white just go into the reds. I think he's unlucky. I don't think he's dropped on a red.
Yeah, the trouble with that shot,
40.
you sort of resist hitting it too hard, blasting the black in. You might miss the black, so you take your foot off the gas a bit, but then of course what happens when the cue ball hits the pack of reds, you don't get so much movement.
He's got an easy safety shot off the red near the cushion, but he wants to leave that there to protect his 40-point advantage. And that red that I mentioned, the left side of the tables, is a bit awkward if you play down that side off the reds.
He's left a tempter for Joe into the middle. He'll have known he'd be leaving that on.
It looked as if it was in. It was just the pace that kept that out.
Yeah, well, Peter Ebdon earlier in today's programme mentioned that whilst the corner pockets can at sometimes seem generous on new cloth, these middles are very tight, very unforgiving.
One.
Would have preferred the cue ball a little bit further off the cushion. Can't really do a lot with the blue now. Jacking up in the air makes the blue missable. Big brown to take on. This is tough. Well played. Really good shot. That was so much harder to take on than the blue, but he just knew he needed to keep position.
Six.
And no need to play a cannon. There's a couple of reds in the middle of that bunch of reds that are available into the left corner pocket. Just a nice little stun shot down to leave those reds.
11.
I know this is a tough clearance from here, but I get the feeling that if Joe Perry shows any weakness in this match, Mark Allen's going to pounce on him. It's not the greatest of positions, but he'll settle for it.
90.
He's got to get pretty high up here to pot this. Bit of a positional mistake already. That's excellent. Couldn't ask for any better, really. Not only can he pot the pink, he can spread the reds everywhere.
Yeah, that red's come off the cushion and he can get through to the potting angle. For a moment there I thought he's run out of position, but he's perfect.
26.
And these are the sort of... Oh, I'm saying he's perfect. He's not. I thought he'd have to play that with a bit of side. And you see him having to swerve around it. Played it well. Played it very well.
47.
He could have played that pink a bit harder, spread the reds a bit more, but great recovery.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Steve, you know, when your opponent makes a 40 break and he's in with a chance of making a substantial break, it's
34.
nice if you can come back and win the frame.
Yeah, it hurts your opponent, doesn't it? So, Mark Allen just checking to see if this red pots so that he doesn't have to go into the 4 reds off the black.
35.
Don't think he got the best contact on the cue ball there. Red. White ball didn't exactly trundle through as he wanted. He wanted to be a bit lower on the black. It's quite a critical angle he's got to find, especially for a left-hander. He could just screw back for the right into the green pocket, but far harder pot. Don't think he can. Can he reach? No, he needs the rest.
42.
So this is the key shot here coming up.
Played it nicely. You're never sure exactly where the cue ball is going to finish, but it's not bad. Oh, he's missed it. Oh, just the pace took it in. We said new cloths on the tables, and that one didn't look as if it was going to drop, and it just slipped in off the angle.
He'll probably knew it was going to go in from his side of the pocket. Obviously, from our side of the pocket, you can't see the fall of the slate so easily. And from looking pretty wobbly at the start of this session, all of a sudden he looks like a lump of granite.
56.
He's obviously not over the line yet, but looks to be in control. And as I say that, he comes up a bit short on the black. That was a misjudgment of pace. He's now got to come off the left-hand side cushion. Good effort.
Well, we've seen him knock a black along the cushion.
64.
And he's got the angle to drop the red in again.
65.
And now just needs the black to pinch the frame.
It does make a massive difference in a player's confidence, knowing that the cloth is more or less
72.
brand new. They do slide in easier. And even after 3 or 4 days play, the pockets start to tighten up.
Made a 94 break in the previous frame. There's no century on here. He can get to 99. But this is sending a message out to Joe Perry that he can't miss many, because Mark Allen looks
86.
to be hitting the ball as good as I've ever seen him. Full of confidence, having won the Masters title back in January. So you make a mistake, and this player from County Antrim's going to clear up. That's breaks of 94, and then that break of 99. He now leads Joe Perry by 2 frames to 1. Well, always better to miss them altogether on the first attempt rather than hit them too thick. He's got that little bit of chewing gum that our Coventry supporter gave Mark, as we showed you there. Nice blue shirt on again.
5. Six.
This is where he's so good in around the black spot, where he just has to play little delicate stun and screw shots. He's really a master at this type of play here.
And this is where he's very compact, short backswing pays dividends. Very much at the top of the table, it's all about exact judgment of pace to keep perfect position, and that's what you can do with a short, sharp cue action. I do feel, Dennis, that that win in the Masters has really risen his stock as a snooker player through the roof, not just in our eyes, but also in his eyes. He looks so assured amongst the balls.
Yeah, he won 2 World Opens in China, but he always wanted to win one of the majors in the UK. And now that he's done that, yeah, he's brilliant to watch. Can't believe it's 2009 since he got to the semi-final here at the Crucible, and followed that with 2 quarter-final appearances. But he's not interested in quarter-finals and semi-finals these days, Mark Allen. He's a winner, and he wants to win some more.
46.
I know it's easy to say it, as he looks like he's going to convert this chance to go 3-1, but I think he's one of the favourites for this event.
Well, he was 33-1 at the start of the tournament, and I thought that were big odds for this player. But there again, a lot of people thought that he was going to have to come up against the defending champion, Mark Selby, but Joe Perry put an end to that.
I think that's where winning a major like the Masters gives a player so much belief that he wouldn't be worried about playing a Mark Selby or even a Ronnie O'Sullivan. He'd just play. It's a great frame of mind to be on, to be enjoying your snooker and enjoying playing match play.
6th.
Got bad contact there, or was it just under hit? He's not correctly on the red, on the black. Perhaps that cue ball didn't go through as much as he wanted.
Look at the cue power he's got there.
Bit unlucky.
Yeah, just needs one more red.
67.
And that's why it was important to get a good angle on the black, but that was a great effort to bring one of the reds into play that he needs to clinch the frame.
It's not totally unlucky. He was never going to have any power left in the cue ball by the time it arrived at the red, so it was always likely to stick on a red. He'd ideally love to get a colour safe. That's not easy, so do you try and put a red safe? Not too sure that that's really going to work. Joe could easily get that red out again, so might have to play quite a containing safety shot here.
He did something in his opening round against Leo Highfield, and both players are smiling about it. He took a shot time, was 4 minutes and 50 seconds. I think that is a record.
Yeah, that was a weird one, wasn't it? A free ball situation. And it looks like he can cut the red into the middle pocket, but doesn't like it. It's a very thin cut into the left middle. If he could somehow play that shot and keep the ball safe, he'd be playing it. So it is a very thin cut. So just safe to the top cushion, sacrificing the tactical advantage here.
Mark Allen. 67.
Yeah, fine break there, but not the best safety shot. If Joe can get this white in behind the yellow, or have the yellow as a snookering ball here. I didn't play it all that well.
Yeah, I'm not absolutely sure he could have got behind there. He would have been risking going very close to the middle pocket. Long range 2-ball plant. Mark Allen's just lined up. Or he's either lining up to make sure he doesn't play it for fear of leaving it over the pocket. Either way, he's got a good cue ball. I think he's very close to snookering Joe Perry here. Yeah, that chewing the gum. I mean, I think I remember being on the board of the World Snooker recently, discussing whether players could eat at the table, and there was a big discussion over what constituted food. Is chewing gum food?
I know what was food when I played you in your first World Championship way back. You had a plate of sandwiches out on the table.
An error from Joe Perry, but this isn't guaranteed. I mean, he could have played that red, screwed back to sort of the cushion as a sort of an element of safety. He only needed the red. This way was far more committal. Was it too negative to just pot that red screw back to a bad position on the cushion?
Not at all, Steve.
And also you get a bit more pace in the red. If it misses, it releases. That puts pressure on the shot the way he played it that he didn't need.
What a steal this could be. The only red that's safe is the one that's tight up against the pink.
8.
The rest are in perfect position.
9.
Well, this would do Joe Perry the world of good clearing up here.
16.
Well, what it
17.
would do would take him to the mid-session interval in a pretty good mood, that's for sure. Well, this could turn out okay, actually, if he pots this.
24.
He can afford to take. He's coming back for the black again. He hasn't that many points to play with
25.
here. Played that well.
There's the possibility that red does pot. It doesn't
32.
need to be shifted away from the pink.
That would be a bonus, wouldn't it?
I think if he gets high on
33.
the red further down the table as we look, it'll be pottable. No, it wasn't. Otherwise he'd have played it. My apologies, Joe. Giving you some false hope. Very unlucky.
Fault.
He's played it so well, he's caught the red too full. Any angle, it probably releases very nicely. Mini reprieve for Mark Allen there, so a good safety needed.
Joe Perry. Fault.
Has he got it? I think it's just a bit shy of pace.
the moment, Joe needs a red, and anything above the brown would do.
I was wondering whether Joe could have tried to shifted that red away for the pink shot before. Perhaps he didn't have the correct angle, but with another red on the table. Misjudgment there, colliding with the yellow. And has Mark Allen got a chance to get behind the black? Might not be on.
If this keeps running, it's going to be good. And it has. So if he gives 4 points away, he'd only be able to tie.
I don't think the swerve's that difficult. It's just trying to get the red safe. All this could get back behind the black. The side spin. If the red was tight to the cushion, Mark Allen would be tempted to just try and roll on it dead weight. But there's enough of a gap behind the red that if he did do that, he could push it towards the opposite middle.
Just try to put a bit of distance between the two balls. He's done all right, though, and settled for that.
Because obviously, when it gets to situations like this, players escaping from snookers, there's a huge amount of luck in how the balls end up. There always has been. Always will. You just sort of take it on the chin as a player, don't you, Dennis? You just accept it's going to happen. So often players get out of snookers and leave their opponent in more trouble. That's a good shot. May not get the snooker. If it flicks off the brown, well, it looks to have got it. So, once again, Joe trying to control the situation off the back cushion, but cannot guarantee how he collides with the red. Sometimes there's an instinct here, getting the pace of the shot right, and he's played. There you see a great shot. He was hoping on that angle and played for that pace.
Another snooker, but easy to escape from. At the moment, Joe, 31 behind. He somehow needs this last red and the brown or above the brown to pinch the frame. He had a great chance when he played that cannon in the last red, and he's been battling away ever since. Well, that's left the red on. Steve said, getting out of snooker, you just got to hit it and hope that you get it safe most of the time. And from a psychological point of view, it's a good frame for Mark Allen because he was in the driving seat with that break of 67. And Joe Perry was a bit unlucky when he cannoned the last red that was next to the pink. It was just a fraction out, otherwise he would have leveled it 2-all.
9.
Just under an hour for the 4 frames.
12. $16. 21.
Yeah, You play these long matches in little mini sessions, and that first 4 frames, Mark Allen will be delighted. He goes to that interval, leading Joe Perry by 3 frames to 1.
Excellent pop from Joe Perry. Well, it has to be said, a pretty poor safety from Mark Allen. It's a shot that Joe Perry shouldn't have been allowed to have played. And this would be a nice one for Joe Perry to win. Restore a bit of rhythm in his game.
6. Seven.
There's still a couple of reds available into the right corner pocket. Joe just weighing up the situation and deciding which one to play on.
I
think he can play for the black this time.
This
is a very important contribution from Joe Perry. A couple of frames behind. Eight frames to be played in this session, and you know, if you can get to 4 frames, that you won't be behind going into the second session.
Red to the right of the black is a bit of a problem ball. Stopped Joe from playing for the black, and he's
22.
a bit under pace with that pink, so I think the red to the right of the 3 is potable. Looks like that's someone he's played for. Makes things easier.
And of course, when he removes that red that you mentioned, Steve, it clears the other 2 reds just to the left of it. They will become available into the left corner pocket, so good one to get rid of this. Just got to be a little bit careful of that red that's near the cushion. He normally would stun the black in and leave those. Well, there's 3 reds available into the left corner, but the red's slightly in the way, so it's a change of plan. Might have to head up for the blue here. He could drop it in and leave the pink.
36.
Can't hold for the black from this position. He can score enough here to leave Mark needing a snooker before he gets to that
43.
difficult red on the right side of the table. That's what he's looking for. 65.
44.
Yeah, he won't even need the red on the top cushion if he takes all the high colours. looks to be
51.
restoring his cue action. I assume Joe would have
52.
probably gone to the practice table in the interval. Not that he was cueing badly, just to keep knocking balls in. Depends how the player feels, really.
Well, he didn't get much chance, did he? Mark Allen had 94, 99, 67.
59.
So this is a good response from gentleman Joe Perry.
Sixth.
.46 the difference.
67.
43 remaining. This red to make absolutely certain and to keep Mark Allen in his seat. He's got a bit of an angle. Can he bring that difficult red into play? Needs to keep running if he's going to drop in behind it.
73.
Joe Perry's been involved in plenty of great crucible matches over the years. If he is an underdog in this match, it's only very slightly.
Doesn't matter about missing the red.
Joe Perry.
He's done what he had to do. He's come out after the mid-session interval and he's taken the frame and he closes the gap. It's now 3-2 to Mark Allen.
So Mark Allen
Quietly, please.
breaks
Thank you.
off with a slender one frame advantage. Obviously both players would like to have a lead at the end of these 8 frames, but you'd settle for 4-all.
Not the best safety shot there from Joe. Although this red's potable, very difficult to get onto the black from there. Went all out for it, trying to cannon the 2 reds and leave himself on the black. But that was, you can see, quite a tough shot. He was just trying to cannon both those reds and leave a comfortable black on. Early chance for Joe Perry now.
Oh, Joe decides to go through the gap
1.
instead of playing up for the blue. Judged it very nicely. Wasn't a lot of room for error there, but felt like it was the more guaranteed way to go about a big break. If he can get to the top rail, he could pot the red along into the left corner and shift that red closest to the black out of the way. That's one way of going about the break. Depends on the angle he's got on the black. This way doesn't look
8.
a problem at all, though. Pots this red round the back of the black.
9. 16. $70.
Yeah, if you're not absolutely sure, get up off the shot and just go around, have a look, and then get back down again. He was almost down to play the shot, and he hadn't quite made his mind up.
$24.
Doesn't have to choose to go into the pack of reds from the blue. Depends on the angle he's got. He certainly doesn't want to be short
25.
on the blue. He's just about got the right side. 2 or 3 loose reds still available. One will be released if he pots one
30.
below the pack.
$31.
Looking very smooth amongst the balls. Both players looking in excellent form at the top of the table.
I think he'll have to go into them this time, just looking at the angle. Where's the red going? Wow. Can you believe it? I mean, he
Mark Allen,
potted the
7.
black, opened a few reds up, but to see a red drop in the right middle pocket, that's very unfortunate.
Yeah, it's the second split that's been unfortunate for Joe Perry.
$1.
So can Mark Allen make him pay? Even though this game is considered gentlemanly, when your opponent gets a bit of bad luck, you want to stick the knife
7.
in. It hurts more.
$8.
Three-quarter ball, half ball contact on the red on the right would probably open the pack up quite nicely and leave himself a red into the left corner, but he doesn't have to go into them. He can play low and then pot this red and open the pack up. He's got to judge the pace right here.
15. $60.
Not perfect on the black here, but you know, being a left-hander, right side of the table, the red, just a little bit of a distraction for him there. Here's his bridge hand, but no problem. But this is one of the worst parts about the game of snooker. When
23.
you do what Joe just did, you pot the black, you're opening the reds up, and you see a red go in, and you've got to go back and sit down and watch your opponent pot the balls that you should have been
24.
potting.
He doesn't have to go into the pack of reds here. He's got a red by the pink spot goes in, but he may choose to. That's the more assured way, but at some stage he's got to open these reds up.
31.
It's not nice to leave it to the last shot because it can always go wrong and you haven't got any more balls to play on, but he should be able to leave himself an angle on the black. So we've seen Joe
32.
Perry play off the back cushion twice and get very unlucky. What will happen for Mark Allen? Well, that was a controlled break open. He knew which ball he was wanting to play.
39.
to open those up, and he played it perfectly. Didn't blast at it. Temptation is sometimes to blast
40.
at it. Excellent control. Bit underpaced. I felt he got. Oh, sorry. For a minute, I thought he was underpaced. It's just somebody coughing.
Well, at least Mark can laugh about it.
47.
Nothing you can do about coughing. I should know.
This is going to
48.
hurt Joe Perry, because he didn't do anything wrong, was just very unlucky. But Mark taking full advantage and back playing the way he was before the mid-session interval, breaks of 94,
55.
99, 67. And just the black needed now
56.
to get a two-frame advantage again and be assured of not being behind overnight.
63.
Well, of the two players, positionally, they've both been playing superbly well, but perhaps just
64.
favouring Mark Allen's position at the top of the table. But that's being ultra critical of Joe Perry. He's just been a bit unlucky going into the pack. From 4-2 in front, he can't be behind going into
70.
the second session tomorrow, but could be. Sorry, you can't be behind going in. Yeah, could be well in front though.
73.
6-2 would seem very cruel from this position. It's a great try. So,
Mark Allen, 73.
Mark Allen
On the frame.
restores his two-frame advantage. 4-2, Mark Allen. Joe Perry makes a decent break off, although there is a tempter. Might not be guaranteed to get the cue ball safe here, but the pot is. Well, it was guaranteed to get the cue ball safe. For a second I thought that red would be coming into play, but nowhere near it. Not a commentator's eye there. The reds are opened up. One good yellow here and good position. Oh, he's held that very well. It's guaranteed position on this red, and then the black
3.
into the left corner, and he's up and running again. Let's see what he can make from here. He's devastating at the top of the table usually.
4.
It's early days in this frame, but Joe will be fearing the worst.
Eleven. 12.
It's amazing sometimes you can play a match and you never seem to get a chance in around the black spot area, and then other times
90.
every time you come to the table you're at the high scoring end.
20.
Now will he play a cannon into the bunch off the red? There's still two reds he can play for. Just playing for the loose one this time. I mean, he could go into the pink from the blue, which probably would be a better option than going in from the black, the way the reds are situated. So let's see how he goes about this. Yeah, down for the blue and into the bunch now, and he's got that loose red as a little bit of insurance. So if he hits the pink full ball, he's guaranteed to be on one.
It's come a bit too far down the table for his liking, which means it Can't control the cue ball as well. It's going to have a bit too much speed for his liking. Tough shot. He's played it well. Trouble is that cue ball's run away a little bit. This red's not as
33.
easy as it looks.
Mark Allen.
Didn't see that
33.
one coming there. He was perfect on the black as well. But the red he missed is quite difficult. Joe's just contemplating whether to take it on, but I think he's got an easy safety option. Is there a plant in the middle pocket? He's had a look at that, but it's not on. He's still looking at that red that's near the blue. But I think off this red and up behind one of the bulk colours is the shot, and that's what he's playing.
Yeah. I think there's some experience at the crucible there. Yeah, he had a chance of potting the red into the yellow pocket or even cutting it into the middle, but in that situation, it was, if I miss, I'm giving my opponent so many green lights to go ahead and bash me over the head. Containing the situation, far better option in that shot. What? That's what he would have done. He would have bashed him over the head.
Well, he almost fluked that red, but it's gone safe, and the white's gone on the side cushion, so a nice run of the ball there for Mark.
Joe must be feeling as if things are going against him here. If the cue ball was, say, in line with the green, he'd have probably been able to have cut this red in, albeit thin. Certainly a full ball kiss on the blue would have been ideal for Joe. He's just got to keep his patience here. You can see where he's considering coming down the table behind the green. But there is the option of coming down into the green pocket area as a sort of guaranteed safety area.
Yeah, he's going to take this one on. He's worked a path back round the table for the cue ball. Or he thought he'd worked a nice path round the table. And what a chance for Joe Perry. He couldn't see an easy safety shot there, Mark, so he thought I might as well take the pot on, but it wasn't one of his best.
Joe just needs to make sure this first positional shot is correct.
One.
Looking at the table, it's going to be 4 or 5 pinks, you would think.
Seven. Eight.
We'd like to get this red away from the right corner as quick as possible.
Fourteen. Thank you. 50.
Could have been a bit closer to the pink, but shouldn't be too much of a problem.
$21. $22. $28.
It just came a bit awkward on the pink, and now it's come a little bit awkward on the red.
$29.
He's played some very good positional shots here. All pinks, as I said. I thought there was 4 or 5 pinks available. This is his 5th pink coming up. Needs to pull up a little bit. Just a bit too much
35.
pace. Can he reach it? A bit of a stretch. Oops. Need to keep one foot on the floor. Otherwise, if you delivered the cue and your foot just lifted off the floor, it'd be a foul shot. That's a bit uncomfortable, I think, that.
It's a lot tougher with the rest of this shot. Well,
Joel Perry.
not only missed it, positional side was pretty poor as well.
Yeah, he looks a bit despondent. It was the shot before where he didn't get on the pink as he intended. He was going along very nicely with 5 reds, 5 pinks.
A tempter for Mark Allen into the middle pocket, but really can't take it on with that red over the yellow pocket. So side to side safety. That's a bit more meat on the bone in this frame. Looks like Joe's taking this on.
Yeah, brave shot, but not the cannon on the pink that he was after. He thought he'd pushed the pink towards the corner pocket, but he got the main part of the shot right.
Yeah, I think he was probably odds against pushing the pink towards the corner. It was more likely to go to the top cushion.
Where's the cue ball? Yeah, it's okay. It's going to pull up short of the pocket. And who's going to win this tactical battle now? Who's going to make the mistake to let his opponent in? That's very good.
Yeah, that's a great shot. So, first potential banana skin of a safety shot falls to Mark Allen, and he taps the table in appreciation of a great safety shot from Joe Perry. And Mark Allen's under a little bit of pressure with this. Yes, he can hit the red closest to the black thin, but there's a lot of danger.
That little tap on the table is just saying to your opponent, very good shot.
He's picked out another red. Still got danger involved with it. Or did he play that? Did he play that one off the back cushion thin and he's called it too thick? Great chance for Joe Perry now.
One.
It's just the, well, there's the couple of reds will go, one into one corner pocket and the other into the other corner pocket. But I'm not sure about that. Did he get a bit of a kick there?
Felt like it. Sounded like it.
Eight.
Took just a little bit of pace out of the cue ball. Enough that it made that red
Joe Perry.
missable,
Eight.
just enough that it was unnerving him.
Well, Joe's usually got a very good temperament, but have a look at this reaction. He's really annoyed with that, quite rightly so.
One.
Maybe could have done with another ball roll there. Highly unlikely from this situation. Maybe able to get a half ball contact on the red and line the red and white up. That may be what he's going to play now. He's a bit wide on it though. Yeah, it's a great effort. He wasn't happy with that. Played it very well.
Eight.
So, red, pink, and then the red along the top cushion. Oh, I thought he'd be playing the pink.
No.
Okay, that's not a bad way if he gets right on the black, because then drop the red in, easy pink. That's why Mark's in the top 16. I'm sitting in the commentary box.
He can play for the pink
60.
this time, though.
Seven.
This meant he didn't have much to do. So the only ball that's reasonably safe is the brown, and that's not all that safe.
Oh, pressure.
Mark. Nobody's seen that coming
Allen.
there.
17.
his only reprieve is possibly the fact the brown's not on its spot, but that was the first poor shot. I think he's played the whole match. A chance to go 5-2. Joe needs to pot these. He doesn't really want to be straight on this green. He's going to leave himself distance on the brown. It's not going to be ideal.
Oh, he's got a slight angle. He can get in behind the brown. And he's hit it a bit too well.
Good bonus.
I'll tell you what, it would have been a big bonus had the white have pulled up.
Yeah.
And as we show you the shot again, it would have been straightforward to pot the brown and screw back for the blue. Now he's got to do it with the extension on the rest and the cue.
Ideally, he'd like to be this side of the blue, but he's got to risk hitting it a bit harder to do that. So does he just play to give himself an angle, or does he commit to going the correct side of the blue? Chose to guarantee to pot the brown and give himself an angle to go off the black cushion and back down the table for the pink. You expect him to get this.
Well, he's hit it a bit too hard. Okay,
14.
it's still on, but had the white have pulled up, it was unmissable. Just should be okay, but it's one of them tricky little ones. Safely in, and Joe Perry will be absolutely delighted. He was really annoyed with himself when he missed the red there, but Mark Allen then missed one, and Joe Perry's just one frame behind. 4-3 to Mark Allen. Joe could take the brown on. He wouldn't be leaving anything, and if he pots the brown and gets back on a colour again, a bit of a chance. No real value in putting Mark in from where they finished.
Brown ball.
So brown it is. That's the extra red. And that would have been very nice for Joe there. This red has just come off the cushion behind the black and is cuttable. And the white will head back towards the blue. He won't cannon into the reds on the way back. Needs to pull up. It's going close to the corner pocket, this.
One. Joe Perry. One.
this time. He
Foul.
does send the white into the
Mark
pocket.
out.
It only
4.
costs him 4 points because there's nothing on. And there's not a lot to play behind now, just the green with the safety shot. Very unusual, so early in the frame. We have the yellow and brown up this end of the table.
Yeah, it has arguably cost him the tactical advantage. So Joe Perry needs to make sure he collides with one of these reds thin. Doesn't want to be hitting the brown. Oh, he caught it so thin, he then collided with the second red. Damage report. Well, there is some damage done, I think. Mark Allen can get through to a red to the left corner and control the cue ball.
One.
So it looked like it was going to be a very awkward table, and all of a sudden Joe cannoning the brown has changed all that. I'd probably like to get on the yellow and get it away up onto its own spot here.
Very critical
8.
position black and pink are in.
Nine.
It would be nice to perhaps pot the blue at some stage and knock into the pink and black. That's perhaps on his mind. But obviously that red by the black spot is also a hindrance. So a little bit of a problem to solve.
40.
Order of how you go about things.
50.
Definitely worth playing the shot you suggested, Steve, here. Straight into the pink. No, he's playing for the loose red. I mean, there's 4 or 5 loose reds, but they're not perfectly placed.
Yeah. It suggests to me that he doesn't want to go into the pink and black until he's got that red away from the black spot.
I mentioned a few shots ago he'd like to get the yellow away out of this area up onto its own spot. He can do that now.
Well, he's not targeted that red by the black spot now, so
free.
it's back up and down the table for the blue. Always a danger when you play that shot that you don't
24.
get right side of the blue, but Mark Allen seems to be pretty assured of getting that cue ball in a nice position. So he refused that breakout shot before, Dennis. He refuses it again.
Yeah, this time though he's got on that red that you suggested, and if he pots that and gets on the blue, I think he'll then play the cannon into the pink and red. He always wanted this one out of the way, as you suggested. But is he coming up a little bit short? Listen, there's nothing wrong with winning the frame just potting reds and blues.
Yeah, well, there's enough reds go. The only danger with this every time is always got to get
35.
correctly on the blue.
$36.
And I think because it's the final frame of this session, he's putting everything into winning it and taking an overnight lead. Just the right side of the blue line there. Yeah, he's going to do it with blues.
41.
Well, he's nicking a few points every time he does it. At some stage he will try and get that position. Of course, going into the pink, no guarantee would be on a red, so...
He's up for his 6th blue. This time he's come up a little bit short, though. Yeah. Okay, the red's just away from the pink, black and 3 reds, but...
Yeah. I'd have loved to have seen a sort of what-if scenario if he had have gone into the pink earlier. I think it would have been an easier way. Obviously, trusting to a little bit of luck, but he's not over the line yet. I'm not. It's definitely not. It's not a sort of clear-cut wrong or right way, but
47.
getting correctly on the blues always difficult. Cool. Be pleased to see that one go in. .49 points in front after he pots the yellow. He's still going to need an awkward red after this one. This not so much of a problem for a left-hander.
50.
What a time to miscue.
Mark Allen, 50.
What a time to miscue. 49 in front. He was playing to screw back for the blue. And we've seen a few players miscue so far in this year's Betfred World Championship. Oh, what an effort. What an effort that is.
1.
Fantastic shot from Joe Perry. He obviously had to trust a little bit to luck, but plenty of topspin on that cue ball. Let's see if Joe can make Mark Allen pay for an error. Different type of error. Joe's was unlucky, but even so, be a lovely frame to win.
7.
To get out of this session 4-all, I think Joe Perry would be delighted. He was staring 5-2 in the face. That's a dog of a shot, it really is. What was that? Obviously, there was no way he was looking at the cue ball going along that line, so it's just a case of mishit the shot. Probably kind of trying to come off the side cushion the other side of the brown with more right hand spin. He didn't get the spin on enough.
Joe Perry, 8.
Not what he was looking for. He wanted a lot more than 8 points from that visit. And this looks a terrific shot. Super shot he's played there. .41 the difference. Needs to pull up and cover the red that's gone to the right side of the table, and he's played a super shot, acknowledged by Mark Allen there. Just tapped the table with his finger.
Yeah, tough one. What could Mark Allen work out here? I mean, there's a temptation to play off the side cushion and try and leave the cue ball in the jaws of the right corner. You would sacrifice an opportunity for your opponent into the left middle. Anything else? You could miss it easily. Temptation to try and flick off a red and get back to balk. I think full in the face and try and leave the cue ball in the jaws. Well, okay.
Where's the cue ball going to finish up?
Don't tell me he's hit it and left it safe.
Foul. And a miss.
I don't like the way he
Perry,
played that.
full.
He's obviously hoping to try and clip it thin, get back down the table, but I think full in the face, leave it in the jaws. Ask it of your opponent.
Yeah, I think he was hoping to just knock something safe, wasn't he? One of the.
Joe's going to need the black.
1.
He'd dearly love to get that far, wouldn't he? But he's got quite a few to pot.
Too sure he's come that nicely on the pink. Has he got an angle to get out for the red into the same pocket? Oh, it's been horrible. Perhaps a little bit careless with the positional play. Obviously the pink spot's on its own spot, and then the red is not potable into the left middle. Dead straight on this. Oh, he's had to sort of play that. Ugh. After 2 shots out of position is not nice. Not a nice feeling.
7.
Good recovery shot though from Joe Perry. Quite a bit of pressure on that pot. He's still got an awful lot to do, but a possibility of going in overnight all square, but a lot can happen
14.
before that is the case.
Could well be a very exciting conclusion to this first of 3
50.
sessions between these two great players. Joe's obviously got to mind his work to get as far as the black, but as long as he's got good position, he's got a choice to make. Does he get behind
20.
the black and play it down the rail? Does he leave a double?
22.
Does he try and break it open? Does he try and knock the
25.
black out from the blue? All mad thoughts go through your mind. The simple way is usually the best, though.
29.
He's tried to take the black out and it hasn't worked.
34.
He didn't have the correct angle. That was the problem. I think he perhaps should have cut his losses. No guarantee if he does knock the black out, he gets on the pink. I think perhaps from where he was, may have been the wrong decision. Good safety.
Joe Perry. 34.
very exciting conclusion to this session. Is it going to be 5-3 or is it going to be 4-all? Well played there, nicely played.
Going back to that shot Joe played, I don't know, it's a tough one. He was obviously, if he pots the blue, leaves himself the pink, he's then got a difficult shot on the black. Perhaps it's 6 of one, half and dozen of the other. Side to side safety. He's called it a bit thick, but he's okay. I think he's okay. Yeah, that's a lot more difficult than it looks on our TV screen. Doubt very much if Mark will be going for this. Oh. It's tough.
He's gone for the double. He's got
Treble.
Is it a treble?
No.
Oh, dear. Well, he took the double on because the black was safe, and he finished up with a treble. What a bit of good fortune that is. And Mark Allen, with that fluke on the pink, goes in, leading 5 frames to 3.
Another fine day snooker then here at the Crucible, and that match resumes at 10 o'clock, and that's when we're back on BBC Two with more live coverage. Get some sleep. We'll see you then. Bye for now.